15-month wife asking me to leave. Really? My wife was acting weird about 3 months ago. She came home late one night after hanging out after a social softball game. I stumbled across an open Facebook message from another guy that she had been hanging out with that night. I just put that one in the memory bank. I started seeing her texting this other guy throughout the week. Although I didn't see what the texts were, I confronted her about this while on vacation, and she told me he was a friend she just met and he flirted with her and told her she was beautiful, etc. We talked it out and I thought I had squashed it. She never started acting normal again, and she started going out with her friends more often than before. Sometimes staying out much later than normal. This increased my attention, and one night she came home around 4:30 a.m. I asked where she was, which I verified with a mutual friend. I asked her why she didn't text me back all night, and she said, verbatim, I was too buzzed and having too much fun. I'm sorry. The next day I find her text log, and she exchanged 20 messages with this other guy in the very time frame she was too busy and having too much fun for me. I confronted her and she deleted his number and unfriended him on Facebook. Over the next 10 days or so, I monitored her Facebook and looked at her search history. She searched for this guy every day over those 10 days. I assumed to look at his pictures. I confronted her about and she stopped, up until 5 days ago. So about 7 weeks passed. We had a big blow up and she said she was in love with me anymore, and we decided to go to counseling. She goes to an IC and we see a counselor together. This has been going on for about 5 weeks, and things have not gotten even close to better. 4 days ago, she asked me to stay with my parents for a little while, which I realize now was a mistake. But I did it. I don't know what she has done since I have left, but she has again started searching for this guy on Facebook. I highly doubt it is at the PIA level, but this is most certainly an EA level and could escalate, correct? Any suggestions from you guys? Comments? You've made a great case for leaving her. Less than a year into the marriage, and she already is finding someone else. Has lied about it and won't quit. She's obsessed with this guy and you already have been told she doesn't love you. What is the reason you want someone who doesn't love you? What is your case for staying with her? By the way, I know a few men and women whose marriages or relationships ended through co-ed softball or co-ed volleyball. They play in local leagues, and the teams usually are sponsored by bars, where they go to hang out after games, and the guys and girls are young and attractive. Some married, but most not. Add in the alcohol, and you have a recipe for infidelity. 3 months is a long time. They've expressed interest in each other and have met up a lot. Drank together. I'm assuming she drunk messages him from the bar, probably telling him to come down and hook up. So they've probably been physical with each other. Unless you see a message saying, can't wait for the first time, I would assume the first time has come and gone. No matter how you look at it, if she hasn't cheated, she sure wants to. All the no contact stuff was a joke. When they ask for space, they mean space to explore the affair, and to see if they want to choose other man or you. They have options. They want the best for themselves. Flashy and new usually beats out old and reliable. Given your particular circumstance, why bother? Maybe you just hitched your horse to the wrong wagon. This soon into the marriage with no kids, just get out and count your blessings you won't have to deal with her over children the rest of your life. Opus, go home immediately. If she objects, tell her she can leave if she wants to go play with her POS affair partner. But that it isn't happening anymore in your marital home. I'm assuming here that she probably had him over after you foolishly left. Then go dark on her and file for de-expose her actions and to both of your families. Refuse to discuss anything but D proceedings with her at all. Only consider changing course if she starts to show true remorse. No blame shifting. Accepting complete responsibility, offers total transparency, confesses every way she has betrayed your vows, and agrees to immediate IC to figure out how and why she could do this. If she falls short on any of this, proceed with the D and rid yourself of this selfish woman. OP responds, wow, that was pretty quick everyone. And you all pretty much said what I thought would be said. I guess I'm simply in denial right now, and as stupid as it sounds, I still believe she isn't in a PA. I have a few things up my sleeve to catch her though. We have counseling this week and it will be addressed there. Definitely. I am going to look at lawyers tonight and bring that to counseling. I'm preparing to move right back into the house and give her the door. I do have access to OM phone number. I'm unsure of if I should approach that road. I've been tested since the last time we had sex. That was a pretty big fear of mine. Again, I can't say I'm overwhelmed by the responses since that is just confirming what I thought everyone would chime in with. I think you are all right. But do I get in touch with OM tonight? Alright, so what I'm seeing is that I should do a combination of the following things. 1. Move back in. 2. Serve papers. 3. Don't even worry about OM. 4. Cut my losses and look elsewhere. Fast. It's really hard to believe that this could be happening, but I hope many of you are speaking from similar experiences. Now on to the most pressing matter. The dog. I'm taking him, no questions asked. She bought him for me for my birthday a few years back. Update and some answered questions. We own our own home, albeit only for about a year, so we haven't built up much equity. Simply paying loads of interest and small principal. The debt we have was all incurred prior to the marriage. We each have substantial amounts of student debt. I am mostly attempting the 180 right now. I am living my life, taking care of myself, and not talking about anything. I plan on exuding confidence. In counseling, yes, I know, I'm being a sucker here and still going to go. On Thursday. Tomorrow. Those who she looks up to and respects the most. Her cousins, best friend, and parents are going to know about her obsession with OM after counseling on Thursday. And I'm moving back on Friday after I leave work. The reason why I can't go back home, because I don't think it'd even be noticed that I was back home until the weekend anyways. Also, despite her doing these things, I still have respect for things she does. She carries a full-time job and is working on her master's degree. She takes classes at night and does her research throughout the week. At night, and I don't want to screw that up. Thus, me moving back would do nothing until the weekend anyways, when she actually has free time. However, I have been going over to the house when she is in class to spend time with my dog and to do recon in the house. We are both 26 and have been together for 5 years, married for just over one of those years. The puzzling thing about it is, we lived together, by ourselves in a state over 600 miles from home for over 2 years. Prior to getting married. Those 2 years were great. Never even a thought of infidelity. But in the last 3 months, a switch went off and she is a different person. And I mean that, it was basically a one-day turnaround. Even her best friend who just came over 2 weeks ago said that to me, verbatim honestly. She doesn't even seem like the same person right now. I can guarantee she is crushing on someone. Crushing or obsessing is pretty accurate. The second part I can see, but she is and always will be close to her parents and they will help us, if needed. We coexisted on our own without a safety harness, so I don't think that would be it. I know I'm an idiot for thinking about being back with her, but I can't help but still love her. We've only been married for a shade over a year, so I'm still fighting a love-drunk feeling from our first year. I get that after many years together a couple can fall out of love, but I'm still very much in love with her. Even though she is doing what she is doing. I'm sure many of you who have walked this walk will say the same thing. You hurt so bad inside that you just want it all to be over, and back to normal. I do believe that time will unveil any wrongdoings on her part. That being said, I am in this intrinsic battle dealing with my love for my wife and my need to do me first and worry about all else later. I appreciate much of the support and suggestions, everyone. So here's where we're at after tonight. I confronted her, I called her parents, and her cousins, and she isn't having a pace. She is still looking at someone else's Facebook pictures every few days. But she is also looking at mine. Which to me is a good sign. In counseling we talked through a lot, and I have put VAR into rooms in the house as well as the car. Just to protect myself in case she is lying about the cheating. Because of these measures, I am not moving back into the house, because she insists that she needs a little more time to miss me. However, I told her I will be coming over tomorrow. And I will be taking my dog, my flat screen, and my iPad. This leaves her with effectively nothing at the house. An old laptop, that's about it. I score it a win for me. I am so happy to have my dog back. He truly is my best and most loyal friend. Comments. This is a loss. Mark today down. You are going to come back to this post a month to 3 months from now and say, what the hell was I thinking? A relationship isn't strengthened by separation, just like a diet isn't made better by a gallon of chocolate ice cream. Separations are good for when you need a cooling off period, or if you are trying to decide if you want a divorce. What you are giving by allowing your wife time to miss you is a chance to get used to living without you and filling her headspace with thoughts of another man. Essentially what it boils down to is we will get treated poorly, as long as we tolerate it. Reading your posts, I can tell you are clutching and grasping at any positive sign. It's understandable many of us have been there, much to our detriment. Know this, until this woman completely cuts contact with this man, shows remorse, and begins to purge herself of those feelings for him, this woman is not your wife. Your wife is gone and theirs is an imposter who looks like her. Sounds like her except perhaps means and more selfish. But is not your wife. A wife puts your concerns, happiness, and well-being on an equal level as her own. What you are dealing with now is a selfish deluded doppelganger, and until she abandons that position, treating her like your wife will be to your detriment, and will likely only extend your unhappiness. Everyone who is new here almost always thinks that they know better, that their circumstances are unique, and if they just smile largely enough while eating their spouse's crap, their situation will improve immensely. Good luck, your approach may work. There's always a first time. OP responds. She doesn't know that I talked to her parents, unless she has talked to them today, and they said they had. I told them to only tell her if she asks, and they agreed. I'm anxious, really. I'm not mad, I'm not sad, I just have anxiety spewing from my insides, really. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. I am probably making this out to be way bigger than it is, but I left for work this morning just as she was getting home from the gym. About 30 minutes into work, she calls me and needs me to come home because she locked herself out of the house. I replied with a cool and calm, well, that was silly, yes, I'll be home in a few minutes. Her attitude wasn't nearly as distant as it was last night when I pulled into the driveway. Hopefully I made the right moves to just quick unlock the door, walk inside, grab my gym bag and walk right back out. So, another update. She agreed to go see a Christian marriage counselor with me the last time we were in our regular MC session. She texted me today and said, I don't think going to see the pastor is going to help. I take that as she has 100% checked out. In you guys' opinion, is this still related to a fair fog? To me, it's absolutely unheard of and ridiculous for my marriage to dissolve in less than 3 months. I have consulted a friend that is an attorney who was willing to help, but we discussed it and we both think it's best since he has proverbial dogs in the fight. Otherwise, I have already set up a face-to-face with an attorney to go over my options. Is it normal to be going through a wild ride of emotions? And I mean this by about the hour. I sit at work and think and get very upset thinking about divorce. Then shortly after I come to terms with it. Then right back into being upset, and so on. Update. I got a text from my wife last night saying she did not want to go see the Christian marriage counselor because she didn't want to feel more guilty. She already feels guilty enough. She feels like I'm using it as another way to have someone talk for me, and going is going to make her feel worse. She said she needed me to go back to my parents, and I didn't take her feelings into consideration, and when I said I live here to her, asking what I was doing home didn't help. I replied to her with, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm going to see the pastor because I want to, and it's going to make me feel good regardless. When I got home from the gym last night, she was just letting my dog back in and she saw me walk up. She got upset, and when I walked into the house, she was crying a little bit. I said hello, and put away my gym stuff, and fixed my dinner. So, looks like I'm going to see the pastor by myself, but bet your backside I'm not even thinking about leaving the house again. She said she would respect my wishes and see the Christian marriage counselor with me tonight, but I have to respect her wishes and not stay at the house. What do? I'm going to meet her for counseling, but I'm going back to the house afterwards. I feel she is still being too selfish, and she doesn't deserve the house to herself. Not to mention it's not like we have interaction at the house. She gets home, goes into the office, does her research and goes to bed. Comments. Pure manipulation. First, the text that your relationship is too far gone, going to see a counselor won't help, it's too late. Next, telling you that she will see the counselor if you get out. So, in other words, your relationship is too far gone. She wants you out, and she's willing to sit in a counselor's office for an hour in order to get rid of you. Tell her if she is unhappy, she can leave. It is your house and her house, and she is the one who is unhappy. Where do you stand with her now? Still monitoring her? Is she still in contact with the other man? Did she ever admit to it being physical? What has she told her friends and her family about what is going on? Did she tell them about what happened with the other man? Did she tell them you left the house? Did she tell them she fell out of love with you and is trying to miss you? Did she try to blame you? Are they completely unaware? And what are their reactions to what she told them? If she told them anything, given that you are giving her space, not engaging with her, staying away from her in separate rooms, seemingly living like even less than roommates, but like to former enemies who are just trying to live in the same house with as little contact as possible. Why do you think she is so upset about you staying in the house? If her being away from you is so important, why do you think that she has not offered or threatened to leave the house? Only asked you to? There is a reason she doesn't want you at home. She wants someone else there. OP responds. Finally, back everyone. No, I didn't move back out. We saw the pastor and got more out of it than the last 6 weeks with our secular marriage counselor. That dude has his stuff together, and he gets it. After we met, I talked with my wife for a bit in the parking lot, and she asked me again to leave. I said, verbatim, I'm sorry you feel that way, but that is my home, too, and I will not leave it again. She said she would possibly look into staying at a friend, and I stated again, I'm sorry you feel that way, but if staying at a friend is the best thing, then feel free to do that. If I don't see you at the house later, I know you are staying somewhere else. Drive safe, and I closed the door. She stayed at our house last night. So did I. I am sticking to the 180 completely right now, and I think I'm nailing it. Which, interestingly enough, doing the 180 is really doing things that I never really did. My personality is pretty complacent, people pleaser. Now that I'm in me first mode, she'll notice. It's funny, she complains about our awful communication, and it has to improve, but she doesn't want me to communicate in any other way but in person. But she doesn't want me around to communicate. To go through a few comments. 1. She is being a crappy person, but she would never hit me and vice versa. And we both know this. Even if she did, I couldn't press any charges unless I felt my safety was truly in danger. 2. I have a VAR on me at all times. No worries there. I'm still in the house and so is she. I'm starting to come to terms with her quitting on the marriage. I still don't think there is an affair going on, mostly just because I am smarter than she is at finding this type of stuff out. She is bad at covering any tracks for anything. I could be wrong though. But back to my point of her quitting, is that she seemingly fell out of love within a short period of time and is throwing away a chance at true happiness with a pretty awesome man. I have my family's support, and the support from her own friends and family. I think they recognize she is becoming a different person, and they have told me that if she is really willing to throw away what we had this quick, then she doesn't deserve someone who will devote himself completely to her. I am understanding this more now than ever. It's the hardest thing I've ever dealt with in my life to date, and it's not going to be easy. I still have hopes of making it work, and I am doing my part, but it is a general empty feeling coming back, and it makes me sick to think about. As bad as it sounds, if we are done, I can't seem to wish her well. I want this to be as hard on her as possible. Lord knows it's destroying me. I want it to be mutual. Marriage is obviously the hardest job in life, and it shouldn't be as easy as nah. I'm through, I guess. I've changed. Life-changing events are not and should not be that easy. I've discussed options with a lawyer, and it seems pretty clear-cut as of right now. I'm going to hold out hope for a little while longer, but eventually I won't be able to stick around emotionally, and I will have to stop what she is doing to me and simply divorce. Wow, those are hard words for me to wrap my head around. Well, it all came out on Saturday. Remember how I said I'm smarter than my STBXW? I come home and she isn't around. I notice her gym stuff is still at the house, so I text her to see where she is, and she tells me she's at the gym, which was an obvious lie, but I didn't say a word. I went to the computer and looked at her Google search history, which anything she searches while she is on her phone shows up on, as well as anything she searches when she is on the computer. There were searches on where to get Plan B pills in the area. What a shocker. She comes home and I have a voice recorder running, sitting right next to me. I tell her to come over and talk to me. I am sitting in my recliner, and she stands about 4 feet in front of me. This is nearly verbatim. Are you cheating on me? Her, no. You cheated on me last night. Her, no, I didn't. Why would you ask that? Then who do you know that had an unprotected one with a random stranger last night? Long pause. Who needs the Plan B pill? Long silence. You got it for yourself, didn't you? Didn't you? Her, yes. I filed for divorce yesterday. You will be receiving the papers soon. You will move out. You lost the privilege of living in this house. Her, I didn't mean for this to happen. Blah blah blah. So there it is. Just as many of you expected. It was physical. It may not have been physical until that night, but that is neither here nor there. It has happened and divorce papers served. Ouchtown. Population me. What shocked me more than anything is that it was with a guy she's met at the bar a couple of times, and she was drunk and it was unprotected. I have a long string of terrible adjectives to show how I feel about that. Her? Then for her to erase possible consequences by taking a Plan B pill, which I view as a form of abortion and I am 100% against, just confirms my feelings of her making decisions her whole life without any risk of a negative consequence. I have a very good lawyer and her cheating confession on tape. I hope I get empathy in the courts. Don't get me wrong, it sucks really bad, and I feel absolutely awful. Numb to it all, really. When I think about it all, it makes me feel like I have to throw up. But the last few weeks of considering worst-case scenarios has helped prepare me for said worst-case scenario. Did I expect a P? No, but I know she was checking out of the marriage and there wasn't much I could do anymore to try to coax her otherwise. I have a really fantastic support system of family and friends who have been really great over the past couple of days. I have already been doing the 180, definitely for myself, and it's been helping me. I went cold on her the instant she said yes to my question. I have since told her she lost the privilege of asking questions, and she lost the privilege of my respect for any aspect of her life. If possible, I don't plan on talking to her again, besides for any moderation for our possessions. I have drafted a letter and they will be sent out tomorrow to her closest friends and family. It's time for her to have some real crap dumped on her. Regardless of why she did it, it happened and she lied to face about it twice. You'd think that if she did it to force my hand, then she would have come out and said she cheated when I gave her the opportunity to confess. I looked her in her eyes and told her if she respected herself, she'd go get tested. I told her I was going to make an appointment to get tested too, and she got mad at me for that. Why would you get tested? We haven't had been together in X weeks. And this just happened yesterday. Either way, I'm getting tested. But that leads me to believe this was the first time. What I'm doing, there is 0% chance of me ever having any shred of respect for her again. So there's that. I am already moving on and planning for my own future, obviously without her. Final update. What she's doing, I don't care what she is doing. How I'm protecting myself. I have already taken my money out of our accounts and moved it into a different account at a different bank, and I'm only spending money on bills so there is no confusion. I have already taken a general photographic inventory of what we have that is worth any value and its location so she can't siphon any valuables into hiding. I have already exported the recording of her confession so she doesn't try to smash the device to get rid of it. The future, I fully expect to be much better off without her. Will it take a while for me to bring this to real-life realization? Yes, and I'm expecting that as well. I understand that I deserve a woman who will respect and desires my faithfulness and devotion to the relationship. My wife has a part of my heart that is going to take me a while to recapture to give to another woman. But she no longer deserves anything from me. At this point, it doesn't matter how many times she cheated. It only takes once in my eyes to push beyond reconciliation. I know who it is, exactly who it is. She told me who it was, and it was who I expected it to be. I do plan on exposing to her family. They deserve to know that the girl they thought was such a nice person is indeed a dreadful, selfish POS. It's over. I've played scenarios out in my mind where she begs and pleads, and I can't help but laugh at her in every one of those scenarios. If there are no children involved, any self-respecting man will not accept this behavior, and I most certainly will not. Sickeningly enough, I'm sure we are both very aware the last time we had sex. Our 1-year anniversary, 7 weeks ago. I knew it was one of two guys. 1, the softball player. 2, a male she started consistently searching for and looking at his pictures on Facebook. Those were the only two that I would have guessed, and I guessed correctly. I grew up in a Christian home and I have faith-based roots. I have been lacking in my devotion, and she has never shared religion with me. She showed interest, but only on face level. A future partner of mine will have similar beliefs, and a rooted desire to pursue our faith together. STBXW knows nothing about my sources. She doesn't know I track her on Facebook. She doesn't know I look at her Google history. She doesn't know I look at her browser history. Only thing she knows is that I started looking through her phone a few months back, so she deletes nearly all conversations. Really, this is how I consider this all. 1, is she going to do it again? I don't know. 2, can I trust her again? I don't know, because I can't answer favorably to those two questions. I had to start preparing myself for my future alone. If I hinge my feelings on a possible reconciliation, I could be hurting my relationship with a woman in my future that deserves my whole heart. Not repeatedly damaged goods. My comment. Are you guys happy about him leaving his marriage? What do you think this guy is going to do next? Sub and bell and check out the other stories in the channel, and have a good